Hey guys, Jake Boley with BarBend.com. Today we're going to be reviewing and looking at the Kettlebells USA Metrixx Classic E-Coat Kettlebell. Kettlebells USA is a strength company that makes a variety of strength equipment. The Metrixx Classic E-Coat Kettlebell here is probably their most standard kettlebell you can buy from them. That being said, we're going to look at the construction, pros, cons, who could benefit, and the price of this kettlebell. But now let's take a closer look at the construction. Alright, taking a closer look at the Kettlebells USA Classic E-Coat Kettlebell. We'll start the construction talk from the kettlebell as a whole. This kettlebell is a single cast gravity cast iron bell, which means there is one single piece of iron to compose this whole bell, and so you're not going to see any kind of welds or seams on this bell. The handle isn't welded on. It's going to be very durable. Starting from the bottom up, the bottom is machine bottom finished, so it's very flat. It's going to sit very flat on a variety of surfaces. That's great for stability on the floor, whether it be rubber surfaces or let's say you're outside in like an uneven garage setting. Next, we'll work our way up to the branding and the actual engraving. We have the brand here on the outside with the 24 kilogram engraving here. If we turn it around, full smooth surface. So you have one surface for the weight and branding. That's going to be somewhat problematic if you're in a class setting and you need to find a bell fast, but I kind of like that too because it makes it very minimalist and it's going to be very consistent on the feeling of each side of the bell. You're not going to have an overly flat side and then a round side. Working our way up to the handle. The handle itself feels like it's going to be in between a 33 millimeter competition kettlebell and let's say a kind of a thicker handle that you'll find in like the big box gyms. I like that because it's going to match a variety of settings and a variety of hands for that matter. And then lastly, the coating is a little bit a hybrid between like let's say a really rigid powder coat and a super smooth finished bell. I think this surface is going to be very good for resisting chips and rust. And I think this kettlebell with the single cast gravity casting is going to be super durable. That all being said, the handle itself is going to take chalk well and also let you perform without chalk. So I like those construction features of this kettlebell. Alright, so now for a mini performance test. We're going to do Russian kettlebell swings with the Kettlebells USA kettlebell to assess how it performs with and without chalk. It's always interesting to see how a kettlebell's handle takes chalk. So now, without chalk. We'll add a little bit of chalk. I liked how it performed in both settings. It almost felt like kind of a powder coat finish where it takes chalk very well. I think if you use or don't use chalk, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how this kettlebell performs. For the price of this kettlebell, you can expect to pay around $99 to $125. For a kettlebell at this weight, that's a little bit on the higher end. It's kind of consistent with other bells. Although this bell is single cast with gravity cast iron, it's going to be very durable, so I don't think it's going to break down very soon. So the price could be justified, but again, it's a little bit higher on the price range. When it comes to pros of this kettlebell, I liked three aspects. First was the construction. I like the single cast gravity casting. That ensures that the bell's not going to have any kind of seams or welded on handles. It's also going to make sure that the bell is completely flat and it's going to be consistent across the board. Next, I like the minimalist design. This kettlebell on the bottom here is fully round and then on the front it has the branding with the weight. Super simple, literally no frill kettlebell. I kind of like that because there's no additional lettering or any parts that might chip with like the flat surfaces. And then lastly, I like the rust resistant coat. I think it's going to be pretty resilient to resisting rust, whether it be in a humid setting or like let's say you get sweaty and you leave some sweat on the bell. I don't think it's going to rust too soon. That all being said, it's a pretty durable bell, minimal design. That's what I like about it. One potential con I could see strength athletes having with this bell is actually one of the pros I listed. I listed that this is a very minimalist bell. That being said, there's only the branding here with the weight On the back, there's virtually nothing. So if you're in a class setting, or let's say you're going through a workout and you need to up the weight or decrease the weight and find a bell quickly, this might not be your best bet. Some bells have the green rings or color rings to indicate what weight it is. This bell does not. So that's one potential con. It's going to only impact a small niche of strength athletes, but it's kind of something to keep in mind. Alright, so now who could benefit with this kettlebell? I think a variety of strength athletes could benefit with this kettlebell. It's minimal in design and it serves the exact purpose, which is just being a consistent kettlebell. If I had to pick one niche within all strength athletes, I think the home gym owner could benefit, and that's for two reasons. One, it's single cast, gravity cast iron. It's going to be super durable. So if you want a bell to last and you're worried about your investment, I think this would be a good bet. Next, there's no color rings, so it's not as important to kind of have that bell to easily be able to find in a class setting. So if you're working out on your own, I think this kettlebell could be very beneficial. That concludes my review of the Kettlebells USA Metrixx Classic E-Coat Kettlebell. To read more of my full thoughts and the pros and cons that come along with this kettlebell, visit us at barbend.com or Google Kettlebells USA and BarBend. If you like what you saw in this video and you made it this far, click the subscribe button below and make sure to like this video.